Happy Sunday, Detroit. Happy Sunday. Can y'all see where it at on this Sunday? Detroit Public Schools, West Side Bus Terminal. This is Aaliyah Moore. Happy Sunday, y'all. I'm going to keep saying that because it's Sunday and it's a pretty day today. Detroit Public Schools, Bus Terminal, West Side location. I'm coming to y'all briefly on this beautiful Sunday, Detroit, because in the news, it's been newsing. You know what I'm saying? That once again, DPSCD is thinking outside the box when it comes down to transporting our babies back and forth to school. Y'all see them buses. Y'all see the vans that the COVID funding and other resources were able to purchase. But this is about these back here, y'all, because this will really solve the problem. But Detroit Public Schools Community District wants to take credit for Miss Michelle Davis over at Davis Aerospace, her thinking outside the box with getting a grant, getting bikes and helmets for her students to get to school. Dr. Vitti, our superintendent, and I quote, this is straight from the Channel 7 interview. We still have work to do, but you know, we also know what the average Detroit student faces as far as challenges. As a city, we have the highest concentration of poverty in the country, Detroit. Okay, so basically, Vitti know we poor, right? We're poor. We're poverty-stricken, Detroit. True. You know, look at the stats. I didn't look at the stats, but, you know, that has always been the rationale that, you know, Detroit lives in poverty. But for a superintendent and an active board, okay, Detroit on this beautiful Sunday, if you know that, and you've been here for 8.5 years, you've seen the poverty hands-on. You understand the issues and the challenges. So why would you spend $700 million in facilities? And when I say $700 million in facilities, Detroit, I do understand that we have a infrastructure problem of $2.1 billion, right? But, Detroit, to build 5 new schools, you're not really helping the infrastructure. Community had to make noise for schools like Sampson Weber to be getting a new roof. I rode by there not too long ago. They got stuff stacked on the roof. They about to fix the roof, Detroit. Now, mind you, they want to close Sampson Weber. Maybe make Northwestern potentially a K-12, but I digress. But they're fixing those things. They're fixing other schools. So why couldn't you do that first? If you really put $700 million into actually upgrading and fixing buildings, you would have definitely put a dent in the $2.1 estimated billion of infrastructure problem. But we decide to spend money on 5 new schools. But then you still have a transportation problem, Detroit. And now they want to take credit. Dr. Vitti wants to take credit for Miss Michelle Davis's ideal. Latrice McClendon, which is a board member, Detroit, she kicked it with Vitti not too long ago about what? Bikes in the warehouse. She want to know how long they've been there, Detroit. So what are we doing? We having this lady do all this, Miss Davis, God bless her each and every day. She was also Principal of the Year. God bless and keep all of these principals, Staff members, counselors, teachers, custodians, lunch ladies, everybody that goes extra, everybody that does outside their job description plus their actual job description. Shout out to them every day and today on this special, beautiful Sunday. But why would the district, and it kind of looks embarrassing to me as a stakeholder, because if you got $1.27 billion of COVID funding that the district no longer wants to talk about, because it is gone pretty much. The $700 million, it is getting sucked out on each project, but for the most part, that has been transferred to the bank, and the district plans to use the interest for that and anticipate the interest. You could have used the interest for transportation. Supposedly and hopefully, Henry Ford High School, along with if I'm not mistaken, East English Village at Finney, they will now have the benefit of getting these buses. And that's why I'm up here, Detroit, because you need to understand what this quote-unquote pilot program means. That means similar to what CMA does, Communication Media Arts. I did a live on it before. I did a live up here back in maybe 2023. I'm setting up my YouTube channel, Detroit, bear with me. But when I put it out there, please help me spread it, because it gives at least a general history of somewhat of DPSCD for the last couple of years. But CMA picks their children up at the former CMA and takes them to their new, their high school. So now we got East English Village at Finney and supposedly Henry Ford High School that will benefit from this going into the fall. But when you had all that money, the rationale is, we couldn't find no bus drivers. Okay, but you can find 2 bus drivers that will now do this program. You couldn't find 5 bus drivers a couple of years ago? Because by then we would have taken some of those charter school children. Why? Because we used the money, the COVID money, to improve our buildings, which would bring families back. Schools would actually have what they say they offer, which would bring families back from charter schools, which would generate new money, which would allow us to then maybe rebuild or expand with the transportation, whether it's the yellows or the white buses, Detroit. How is this man, Dr. Vitti, how's the board allowing him to say such foolishness? It makes the district actually look bad, and then he quote-unquote says she's on to something.